ladies and gentlemen, Garry Moore.
Welcome to another edition of To Tell the Truth. This isn't quite the way we'd planned it. I had hoped when the curtain opened that you would find me standing here with a monstrous stallion. But, you know, a lot of animals are afraid of lights and they're afraid of the noise of people. And with a little luck, I'll get him out here. But I'll tell you what we'll do, fellas, everybody. Let's first introduce the panel, then I'll see if I can get him out here.
Holy! Gene Rupert, Peggy Cass, Bill Cullen, and Patricia Carbine.
Come on. Hey, there, nice fella. There we go. I think we can make it now. Isn't this something magnificent? This is a full-grown horse. He is 3 years old, and this is as big as he is going to get. And his name is, of all things, Tiny Tim. And as docile an animal as you've ever seen in your whole life. Now, the gentleman who breeds these horses is our first contestant, so we'll learn a lot more about how it's done and whether they breed true and all sorts of things. And I'm just going to let him stand here and get out of the way. Make yourself at home, Tiny Tim. Get my big lariat over here. Isn't that terrific? Isn't that something to see? Yeah. Wouldn't you love to have that for your own?
I'd love to have it.
I want to. Well, I don't know whether for sale or not. That's one of the questions you can ask if you like. Meanwhile, let's meet the breeder of this fine little horse.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is C. Moody Bond.
Number 2.
My name is C. Moody Bond.
Number 3.
My name is C. Moody Bond.
All right, let's listen to the tiny tale of C. Moody Bond. He says, I, C. Moody Bond, am the breeder of the world's tiniest horse. His name is Tiny Tim. He stands 19 inches at the withers and weighs 55 pounds. I have worked for many years perfecting a breed of miniature horses. Currently, I have a herd of about 30 of these little fellows. To give you an idea of the difference in size between them and a standard mount, the birth weight of my miniatures is something between 10 and 15 pounds, whereas a standard horse will weigh in at around 100 pounds at birth. Tiny Tim is the offspring of a stallion named Goldmine and a mare called Shorty. Both parents are bigger than Tiny Tim. They stand at a whopping 29 inches high. Signed, C. Moody Bond. And we'll take a few seconds out here to make a buck or two from the sponsor and come right back and see what we can find out about this horse. We have across from us 3 gentlemen. They all say that they are C. Moody Bond, breeder of miniature horses. And let's start the question, please, with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number 1, how much is a little horse like that?
What do you mean?
How much would it cost to buy for me, let's say?
This horse I wouldn't sell.
Well, number 2, are they for sale, any of them?
No, this horse is not for sale.
But it says here you got 30 of them. Don't you sell any of them?
We sell a few of them.
How much are they?
Different prices.
Well, why are you all so nervous about telling me? Well, anyway, number 3, because it is a miniature, sometimes miniature breeds are very nervous. Is this a nervous animal?
No, he's quite calm.
And number 1, would it be good for children as a toy?
Oh, yes. This is the reason we started breeding these.
Well, then, number 2, what kind of children would you let have one, then?
Well, you know, little children could use them. Crippled children could use them.
Ah, very good. And number 2, how long did it take you to get those 30 horses? What is the gestation period, let's say, for a horse? Number 3. What is the gestation
11
period?
months.
11 months.
11 months.
So number 2, how long would it...
Thank you, Kitty. Let's go down to Gene Rayburn.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gary. Number 1,
Approximately where on the horse is the fetlock?
The fetlock is in the back on the rear.
Thank you, number one. Number two, where is this breeding farm? Have we established that? Where is your place?
My place is in Livonia, Georgia.
And all the horses are there?
Yes, sir.
And number three, where's yours?
In Greeley, Colorado.
Greeley, Colorado? What do you do in the wintertime with the horses out there?
We keep them inside.
Yeah.
They're very fragile.
Number one, the tail on this horse, has it ever been cut?
No, this one hasn't.
Yeah, why do you keep it that long?
Well, it should be cut right now, but we just didn't have the time.
Is Tiny Tim the smallest one you've got, number one?
Yes.
And are you going to breed Tiny Tim?
Yes, you're not allowed to breed them until they're 3 years of age.
Who says so?
This is the registration of the horse.
Number two, what do you call this? You know, the horses, different kinds of horses have different names. What do you call this?
This is American miniature horse.
American miniature.
And Peggy, before I turn it over to you, I see that you can get shots of him. I was going to turn him around so that the cameras could get in. Just a minute here. Be right back. Hey, baby. Don't be pretty. Come on. Let's get around this way. Around there.
You're the cutest thing.
There, now we can get some profile shots of him. That's fine. And let's see, it's Peggy now, right?
Thank you. Number three, how did this breed start? With regular-sized horses, like
Right,
you bred a smaller to a smaller to a smaller?
It's taken 22 years from starting from quarter horses.
From a quarter horse. Now, when you breed him, you breed him like to a close relative then, who's also from the same line,
At this
right?
stage of the game, yes.
And do they always breed true?
No.
I mean, number two, do you sometimes get a regular big horse out of two little tiny horses?
No, you wouldn't get a big horse.
But you get maybe a larger horse.
Might be some larger, not much larger.
I see. Now, number one, is he pure horse? I mean, there's not any tiny little other animal that made him so small.
Like a Pomeranian or...
Well, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you know, if you bred people smaller and smaller, you'd get midgets.
No,
I mean,
these are bred right from standard bred horses.
Now,
Thank you, Peg. And Bill Cullen, you have the last opportunity.
I'll stay with number one. How many years have you been breeding? I think 22 was mentioned. Is that?
This is true. This has been handed down through my ancestors here.
Now, Mr. Bond, number three, going along on that premise, if you continued to breed this horse with other horses of his or her approximate size and continue to breed down, will the breed continue to become small? Will it get smaller and smaller?
It's hard to say. This is the smallest horse right now in the world.
This is this, number two, is this the smallest one to your knowledge that has ever been bred?
This is the smallest one to my knowledge that's ever been bred.
Do you hope to be able to make them smaller?
I'm sorry, Bill, because the bell is rung. There are lots of questions to be asked, but it's voting time now. And while the panel, the panel makes up their mind, the audience now try to make up our collective minds as to whether it's number one,
what are you doing there?
or number two, or number three. And we pay $50 for each wrong vote. We pay $500 if all of the votes are incorrect. And Kitty starts, please.
Well, it's very hard to say. They're all frightfully good. But I voted for number one. I think that he's the one that has the thing in the family, and they're charming animals, really charming.
All right, Kitty, thank you. We have a number one. What's Gene going to do?
Well, I voted for the man who sounded most like a...
Oh, wait a minute. We have to interrupt you, Gene.
Yeah.
Paul, if you're lucky. Oh, look at that. Oh, great. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, TV horse.
What's he doing?
I don't know what he's doing.
His back. Oh, scratching his back.
So how are you going to vote, Gene?
The man that was most likely to scratch his back is number two.
So you're thinking number two is right. And Peggy Cass.
Well, number three said he was from Greeley, Colorado. He kept them inside, but horses don't stay inside in the winter. They're fairly hardy. Even that little horse looks very hardy to me. So I voted for number two. I don't know why. Livonia, Georgia sounds like a place they'd breed that stuff. He's cute.
Oh, number two or the horse?
Both. But the horse has the edge.
Female chauvinist. Let's go to Bill Cullen.
Well, I don't know. know, in a case like this where I don't know anything about horses, I voted for the fellow who looks most like the horse breeder, and I really voted for number 1's haircut. I mean, he looks like a Westerner, and...
Maybe
He's in the Marine Corps.
He's in the
All right,
Marine
that's the
Corps.
way it goes here, friends. We got a pair of 1s, a pair of 2s. The votes are in with the real. C. Moody Bond. Please, sir, stand up. What do you...
I
Yeah,
knew it.
Well, there we go. Nice try, gentlemen. Let's find out about number 1. Number 1, what's your real name, please, and what do you do?
Harry Wood, Jr., the manager of the Will Weemont campsites in Livingston Manor in Sullivan County, Catskills.
Nice to have you. And number 3, sir, what is your real name,
And
please?
my name is Les Holson. I'm on a national tour for Gillette Toiletries representing Foot Guard spray powder.
Oh, well. Well, it's been a fascinating display. Mr. Moody Bond, thank you very much for bringing Tiny Tim to see us, and thank you, gentlemen, also on behalf of the Tell the Truth.
I'll try to find out.
I don't know why he doesn't want to tell you how much they cost. I'll try to find out during a commercial sometime or other. Meanwhile, we'll forge ahead. And I don't know whether any of you folks have read a new magazine out that has articles in it like, What If Pat Nixon Were a Feminist? Or Whatever Happened to the Male Pill? Now, these are but 2 of the pieces that have appeared in Ms. Magazine. Ms. Magazine is a publication of the women, by the women, and for the women. And we'll meet the publisher and the editor of Ms., that's one person, in just 2 minutes. So don't miss the commercial. Ho, ho. Now, let's say hello to the head of Ms. Magazine.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Patricia Carbine.
Number 2.
My name is Patricia Carbine.
Number 3.
My name is Patricia Carbine.
And the affidavit of Patricia Carbine goes as follows. I, Patricia Carbine, am the publisher and editor-in-chief of Ms. Magazine, the first publication in the country created and controlled exclusively by women. Undeniably, women have been treated as second-class citizens for much too long. Indeed, because of the way society's institutions are organized, some of us actually believed we were naturally inferior just because we happened to be born female. What Ms. Magazine is asking women to do is to rethink all those shop-worn assumptions made in their behalf or made by themselves. In exploring women's new potential, Ms. is at once serious, outrageous, satisfying, sad, funky, intimate, global, compassionate, and as full of change as women's lives really are. In short, it's not a magazine to learn 37 exciting new ways to make meatloaf. It is a magazine to help women change their lives. Signed, Ms. Patricia Carbine. And we'll turn this over to Mr. Gene Rayburn.
Thank you, sir. Patricia Carbine, number 2. Are there really 37 ways to make meatloaf, or is that a little figure of speech there?
Well, you wouldn't find out from Ms. Magazine.
I see. Number 3, do you know what college Gloria Steinem attended?
No, I'm not sure because she went to 2 colleges.
Thank you. Number 1, suppose you achieve what you want to achieve in the world, maybe even in your lifetime. What's going to happen to family institutions?
Well, we have no intention of destroying the family.
Yeah, but who's going to mind the kids? Home is mother.
Well, you're just as good at it as I would be, aren't you?
You want me to stay home and mind the kids?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, why not?
Yeah. Who's asking you? I'm talking.
This is going to end up with a fight in the audience and down the aisles and on the elevators.
Well, listen, number 2, I think if you do a man's job, you ought to get equal pay. But sometimes when I get mad at a man, I belt him in the mouth. Well, one more crack out of you. I mean, do you really want to complete parity with anything a man does?
Well, I think what you're assuming is that women want to reverse roles with men. That's really not what it's all about. What women want to be is...
You want to finish that? It seems cruel to cut you off at that point.
What women want to be is their own persons,
Okay.
and not duplicates of men.
Okay. And we went out to Peggy.
Number 3, what magazine were you with before, or what did you do before you became the editor and publisher of Ms.?
I was with McCall's. I was editor there.
God, it's a long jump from McCall's, isn't it?
It is.
Number 2, how did you raise the money for Ms.? It's hard to get a new magazine started. I just wondered how you were able to get the dough from men.
Very difficult. Actually, we have an investor, and that's Warner Communications. They gave us, in exchange for 25% of our equity, they gave us $1 million.
Thank you. Number 1, I don't seem to sound like a business person, but are you paid are you paid regular salaries, or do you split it up at the end of the year and have sort of a drawing account?
No, we're paid a regular salary. We also own a good bit of the magazine ourselves.
Thank you. Number 1, what is Gloria Steinem? Naturally, she's the most famous one, so you must. What is her job there? Gloria Steinem's job.
Which number, Peg?
Number 1.
I'm sorry. I thought you said 2. She's the editor as well. She's one of 10.
I see. Number 2, do you think there's anything wrong with 37 ways to make meatloaf on a kind of meat is so expensive? Boy, I wish I knew a couple of new ways to make meatloaf instead of sticking a couple of hard-boiled eggs in the middle.
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with knowing that. And I think it's important to point out that there are a number of terrific magazines in business right this minute who are coming through with that kind of information.
Thank you. Now, number 3,
And thanks, Peg. Let's go to Bill Cullen.
I think I'm in a position where, because of circumstance, I can more or less give an unsolicited testimonial for the magazine. I remember the first issue, which came on in concert with the New York magazine, I believe, and we did a review on it. It's a marvelous magazine, and I think its intentions are marvelous. And I say this just to kill a little time, because I'm going to have to disqualify myself, because Miss Carbine, whether she remembers me or not, I don't know, but
he used to do the dishes for her.
I would have been glad to. She did one of the best articles I've ever had done on me in a magazine. Very nice article. And I think Jean should stay home and mind the kids.
All right. On that basis, that's a disqualification, and disqualification automatically counts as a wrong vote, so we skip now to Kitty.
Well, I don't want Gene to stay home and mind the kids if his reaction to anything wrong is to belt somebody in the mouth. You can go out and fight with the taxi drivers and the truck drivers and never mind minding the kids.
But Miss Vick, they're so belligerent.
Number 2, I want to thank you also for pointing out that we don't want to be like men. We want to have differences. That's very important to say. Now, number 3, to get back to the business, do you have enough ads for your magazine to make you happy?
Yes, we do.
In other words, you are making money.
We're in the black.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Number 1, how early do you think you have to start with girls to make them change this built-in image they have of themselves?
Well, I think it starts with the parents and the day the child is born.
From the very beginning.
Male and female child.
Right. Number 2, do you think you have to sort of re-indoctrinate men so that they make proper husbands for ladies who really want to be themselves?
Well, I think that really it's a mutual relearning. Women have as much to learn as men do.
Thank you. Number 3.
I am sorry, there goes the bell, and that means no more time for questions. We must vote quickly on this one. Time is running short on us. Let's decide whether we think it's number 1 or number 2 or number 3. And Gene, have you marked your
Yes,
ballot?
sir. Oh, I've finished.
All right,
I made up my mind very quickly because it's number 2. Number 3 said Gloria Steinem went to 2 schools, and as far as I knew, she went only to Smith. So I voted for number 2.
So we've got a 2 going. Peggy thinks something different, I think.
Yeah, I do. I think it's, I can't think of myself as the natural enemy of man, but I don't know. I really am mixed up about the whole thing, but I think 2 has it right.
All right, a pair of 2s. Bill Cullen has got the disqualification, and so he marks a 0. That counts as a wrong vote. And how are you going to go?
I don't feel like a natural enemy. I like fellas. I voted for number 1. I think she likes men, too. They all do.
We've got a 1. We've got a disqualification and a pair of 2s, and so the time has come. Will the real Ms. Patricia Carbine please stand up? Let's go down the line and find out who we are. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Mary Ann Stratton, and I'm a lieutenant in the Navy Nurse Corps.
And number 3, tell us about you.
I'm Barbara Dillon. I'm a housewife from Darien, Connecticut, and the mother of 3 girls.
Nice to have you here. Somebody was asking about the success of the magazine, Ms. Carbine. Also, that you have several projects spinning off from this already, have you not?
As a matter of fact, we do. We have a record. Our first record has come out. It's called Free to Be You and Me, and it involves Marlo Thomas and friends, and a perfectly marvelous collection of friends in the entertainment business. The proceeds of that record go to the Ms. Foundation for Women, which we've also started, and we have a... thank you, Peggy.
It was terrific.
It is. It's really a terrific thing. We also have a book just out, the first Ms. book. It's called Wonder Woman, published with Holt Reinhardt Winston and Warner Books, and it actually happened because of the terrific response to...
Well, you're starting a whole new publishing world of your own here.
I think what it really demonstrates is that we are an idea whose time has clearly come.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carbine. Ladies and gentlemen. If I have any quarrel with the women's liberation movement, it's the same quarrel as I have with so many movements, is that in their eagerness to make their point, they sometimes lack a sense of humor. And I think that Patricia Carbine had a great sense of humor today. And so many of the gals that I've seen on the interviews were so bloody militant, you know. I don't like desk thumpers, you know. If you would just smile at me every now and then, I'd listen a lot better. It's a nifty magazine called Ms. Thank you all very much. Thanks, man.
Our central characters today will receive Bandit Beauty products. Your phone book lists your Bandit Beauty counselor who comes counseling to help you select your own customized beauty program. Promotional consideration provided by Best Western Motels, the nation's largest chain of 1,200 fine owner-operated motels in 900 cities from coast to coast.
Hey, what the blank is going on here? What the blank is he doing? What kind of a blanking show is this, anyways? I don't believe this blank. Hey, I know her and him. They're blanking hilarious. Oh, get a load of this blank. Holy blank, this is funny. What a great blanking idea for a game show. Match Game. You'll laugh your blank off. Today at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on Game Show Network.